Okay, so welcome to Flutter class. We're going to continue with GetX management. So what I'm going to be doing now is that we already built. I already showed in class how I built a form with login, register form, and then when you register, you log in. You go to your home screen with your navigation button bar. So right now I'm going to be implementing GetX in these very screens that are already existing. Yes. So I'm going to be starting from here, then down to other screens. So although this was supposed to be covered last week, but because of network glitches, we couldn't really do anything. Okay, so before I start this up, I want to, let's see. Okay, we have view that get material. Yeah, of course, get is always added to material app when you're implementing GetX. And then what I did earlier was to add Flutter screen util. This is a dependency. This is Google Fonts is another dependency. And then get is a dependency. This for GetX. All right. So of course you can add as many dependencies you want to, depending on the app. So we'll go back to our main. So I'm going to be, I just ahead of time, I had to prepare this folder. Yes, so we already had our home screen, onboarding, splash screen, but this time around, I structured everything into home. You have your controller, you have your view, you have login, you have controller view, and so on and so forth. So before we get down to this part, here we have your utils, then bindings, you can add your binding. Then we have constants for colors, app theme, app text, although we might not really be using everything, just maybe only focus on colors. Then you have routes, app pages should be here, validators, validator to validate email, password, name, and so on. And then I think something else is missing. Let me add the widget folder, widgets. Yeah, so every widget comes in here. When you want to customize your widgets, you can have customized button, customized text input field, customized dialogue, customized snack bars, anything you want to do customized, just in smaller bits, put them here. All right, so we'll get started now with the main. So for the main, what I'm just going to add here, let's see, I think I'll just add team. Team, you have team data, then text team, we'll have Google fonts, okay, dot, of course, this is a package itself, so we're going to import it, and then you should be able to see various fonts. So this time around, I'm not actually going to be using the manual way of importing fonts. You already have Google Fonts, so I'm going to be using this. Let's see, is the product sans, or let me use Roboto. Use Roboto. Okay, Roboto texting. This will still work. Then this. All right. Okay, so we have this set up here. Of course, we'll add one or two things here, maybe like the binding, but that's not ready yet. So let's first of all go set up our binding. So we'll come here to our utils, and then I'm going to add this and call this class app bindings that extends bindings. Okay. Import get. Right. So in here we'll have an override. And this and then the void dependencies. Get dots lazy puts. You'll have auth controller, then and a bracket in it. I'm gonna probably call auth. Although this is not set up yet, so still have error in this. Yeah, this way. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to comment this first, and then the next thing we're going to move to is, let's see, from our image before. Let me see if I can still get to that. Because when you're actually building mobile apps, you're going to be following a design given to you from Figma, right? So definitely you have to look at that design and follow it thoroughly. Okay, so this is now looking at this is I think the login screen. This is the login screen. So you see we're making use of this color. We have white, definitely we have purple, we have black. Yes. And I think a little bit of light purple or not too deep purple. So you use this to set up your colors. So let's go to constants, and then now colors will have a class of app colors. Okay, so this one does not extend anything, that just basically, so have static const primary, more like primary color. Okay, so uh this particular color is let's see, I'm going to be using this, then says B, let's see, this one F. Yeah, I think this should give us Yeah. Color is unified for the type of colors. Okay. Why is that? Okay. I think I need to import, let's see. Import this. Okay. So that works. Then we should have this again repeatedly for black and white. But this time around, I'm just going to use directly, let's say, colors.white. And then this is going to be, let's call this background, either background or text color, background or text color, or let me just give background. Then let's do same for black. Let's see. Let's keep this text. Then change this to black. Okay. Then let's call this one gray, and then gray. Just to make things, yeah, because we're having black, gray, then purple, white. Yeah, white, black. So now we have our constant. All right. So from here, let's move to validators. Let's see. Now in our validators, we're going to be setting up validation for our input fields. Validators. Okay. Then we're going to bring in static, string, let's say validate. I start with anyone anyway. So validate, let's validate email and see. We'll have string value. These are properties. Okay. So then we're going to give it condition. If value is equal to null, or is value is not or does not contain the @ symbol, okay? Then return valid email. Okay, so this is set up for validation. Now we'll come here and do return null if it does contain and is not equals to null. Okay, so we have this now. Now I know that we actually have this, so I'm just going to gradually in all of this just going to go over to, let's see, I think we have it here. So I'll just go back to my register where we have those validators. Yeah, we have them here. So let's see, starting from here. I don't know, this is quite it's very different also. Let's see what we can do. Oh, I'm just gonna rather make things clean so that you guys can understand. So copying and so I'm gonna bring this and then probably just paste here so that I can have validate password. Okay, and then this time around, if value is equals to null, yeah, then value.length. Value.length. It's less than 8. This, yeah, return password too short. So I'm going to change this. Okay, return null. Then let's do for name. Copy this. Bring it down to, oh, let me do for, since this is number, I'm do for phone. Phone now is going to be less than 10. Okay, then do enter valid phone number. Okay, now we have for, let's do for name, business. Okay, so salary strings validate. No, not empty, not empty. Okay, so we have string of value, then value then come here, value dot is empty. Okay, so take this one out and then enter your next time around. What I'm going to do is let's do this like this field name. So I'm going to be using this for name and business name. Yeah, so that's for the register password. All right. Instead of doing for name and then now doing for business name, you just actually do like two in one. Okay. So functions for both name and business name. All right. So let's see. Of course, there can be more advanced way to validate emails, all right, passwords, email password to enhance your validations. But let's work with this now, man, of course. So now we're done with set up widget, custom field. So let's go to widget. Let's call this custom in custom inputs. Okay, so this is going to be stateless widgets, and then custom input field. Okay, so with this, we're going to be declaring final text editing controller. Okay, controller. Right, so then we're going to add more, because what we need for our input field final, let's have string for hints, since hint is a text. All right, we'll have string there. Then we'll have final again. Let's add the I, where you have to show or hide password. Scale, that will take a bool data type. Yeah, then let's do let's say final. What else again? Final. Yeah, we have void callback, that is on click. Callback action or callback. Yeah, into callback. We have on tab. All right. Let's have final, because we should have let's say form field validation or validator. Yeah, we have that. Validator, we have that. Then, of course, this one takes in a string. Yeah, and then validator. Okay, so we have that. Then we'll have if you want to add, let's add this. Let's see, final text. I think we have something like input type. Text input type. Okay, yeah, we have that. Then keyboard type. Keyboard type. Okay, then the icon that usually appears on the password, although this one is not having that, but so that can give you an insight on how that is achieved. Widget. Then this is suffix, not prefix. Yeah. Suffix icon. Let's see. Environment suffix icon is in the lower. Okay. It's supposed to be this. All right. So now, since we have that, we're going to be having same thing that we have up here in here. So bring this down, and then so for the first one, we're having a constructor this to need to come down. This dot controller, and then of course we'll be needing a hint, so hint is going to be required. This dot hint. Okay, then this dot, for this obscure, it takes in a true or false value. So we're going to give it a false. Yeah. And then for the validator, is that the next one? Okay, anyone comes in, you know, have to be okay, we have this keyboard type, this dot tab, this dot suffix. Okay, then we have this dot validator. All right. So yes, we have that in there. So now let's come down to our widget and start setting up. So this time around, it's not like a screen or scaffold where you have to, this is a widget, all right? More like well, anyway, let's go on see. So what are we returning? We're going to be returning a text form field. Yeah, the text form field will have definitely a controller to have obscure. So I'm just calling up what you have up here into this place. Obscure text is going to be obscure. Yeah. So the argument in text form field, we have validator, because we have validator again. Then we'll have on top, and then on top, what do we have again? We have keyboard type. We'll have keyboard type. What else again? Then of course the decoration. So we're gonna have decoration, inputs, decoration, and inside this decoration we're having hints. Okay, the hint text. Yeah, because we have hint here. So we have hint text. Hint text should give us hints. Then if there's need for border, you can add border. Can just add this. Yeah, of course, it should have border. Outline, input border. I think that works. Then you have a border radius. Border radius of border radius circular. Just give it 8. Okay. Then we should have a content padding. Do we? Let's see. Okay. This is inside. We should have to come down here. Content padding. Yeah. Content padding should have page insert dots. Let's say symmetry. Then we should have horizontal. Let's say 16. Then for vertical, let's say 12. Yeah. And then what next? I think we should have suffix. Suffix should give us suffix icon. Yeah. This is suffix. I think this suffix icon. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So now we've been able to set up our first widget, custom input field. All right. Now this is something you don't actually see, but based on what you see here, we have a text form field, just like we had it in our, but you're going to see the dynamics of working this way. The controller, of course, obscure text, validator to validate, yes, keyboard type, if it's number, if it's email, if it's just ordinary text, then the decoration input, all right? Inside you have the hint, and then border outline, this border here with a radius of 8, content padding between this, all right? Then surface icon, that should be here. If there's be an icon in the beginning, it's going to be prefix icon. All right. So now we've done that. Let's move on to customizing our button. So let's do a custom button dot. Okay. So just same like the way we did that, we just going to have a class of, or should I say, STL, yeah, custom button, and then now we're going to have how many things do we need here? You just need final void so that when you click on the button, void call back. When pressed, we'll have this here. Have another final string for the name of the button text. Yeah, then final if it's loading. Okay, final, this one requires a bool. Yeah, so we'll have that. Then let's see, because we can have as many color as well. Do not forget this color. We can have as many declarations here, as many as possible. Okay, but I'm not going to go into deep into that because just want to see how fast we can get. So now, what you definitely require that the button be pressed, unpressed. You require to that there's a name on the text. Is the text, okay? Then you require a color. This dot color, and then lastly, this dot is loading. It's going to be equals false. It's always false because why? You don't want to, when you have it on the screen, it just starts loading when you've not clicked on it. All right, so now we have that. So let's go over to now work on our button. So here is going to return, let's say for a button of this type, we should have a sized widget, a size box widget, and size box should have a, let's say, width. No, width. This width should be, let's say, double dot infinity. Have a child, and inside this child, we should have we can just probably go pick. Let's see, can we just pick a button from, let's see, not here. Where is the phone? Okay. See, we can pick our button from here. We have this child down to this point. You can see just very similar. So take this out, paste this here. All right. This submit, don't need this for now. So we don't start having errors everywhere. So just bring in this just to keep things basic and simple. All right, so we have this now. Then we'll set up our, now let's go over to set up our controllers. So we'll come here. I think I'll just use one for the controller. Let's see. Since actually register and login, they're almost like similar thing. So do that. Now, in this part, going to be having a class, since we're implementing GetX, okay, we're going to have class auth controller, but it has to extend GetX. Oh. Extend GetX. Now, this controller is what is going to be containing the logic for the UIs. Now, let's have our declarations. Let's say final, going to have final from key. Going to make this private from key. Okay, global. And just actually, I don't know. Okay, global key. From states. So we have that declare. Then now, since we're going to be having email, password, name, and all that, then of course we should have final email controller, text editing controller. Okay. Now we're going to do this for all other ones. Well, here is going to be password controller, and then we paste again. We have name controller. Do another one. Let's call this business controller. Then the last of it should be phone, whether phone or phone number controller, anyone you want to do. It's up to you, it's fine. All right, so now declare these ones, these controllers. Now let's have, I might have to take this one out of here though, but let's see. Now for our, let's see, to be able to hide and see password on this password input field, instead of using set state this time around, since we're using GetX and code controller, we're going to be introducing this declaration var up secure, okay, password equals true. Now true.ops. All right, this is like a unit for GetX, just like you have unit for mass, unit for kilogram, kg, unit for power, P or W. Yes, for velocity, meter per second, something like that. So this one is actually works for GetX. All right. So then var is it loading? Course, OBS. All right. So so now we have this. Let's bring in. Remember, everything I'm doing is inside this auth controller class, not outside of it. All right, it's inside it. So I always ensure that it's inside. Now we're going to bring in a method void toggle password. Let's say toggle password. Now instead of using a set state, I just bring in obscure dot value. All right, equal to this. Well, all right. Dot value. So I already have this now set up for toggling password. Now the next thing I'm going to set up is my login. All right. So to use a method login. For this login, I'm going to have this, and then inside this, we're going to say if do I want to bring this here? I don't really want to bring this here though. I want to leave it at the in the UI section. Yes, which is I think is more variable. So let's say if form key, all right, dot current. I know I made stated this earlier. Current states, all right, dot validate, okay, or and false and false. We're going to be having is loading, okay, dot value, all right. So, okay, the current state, undefined name. It says something I'm missing because this here, this doesn't work for this. Form key. Form key is not, it's not taken out of it. Well, I defined it here. So why is it saying that? Okay, let's see. Because I know it's it here, button. Press submit. Let's go up. Final is valid. If it's valid, form key current state. Save. I'm gonna actually bring it here because it's actually a problem. Let's see. So have future. Now I'm bringing a delay feature, the delay duration. This duration is going to be in seconds. Seconds before it verifies, after it verifies, before it goes to the next screen. All right. So yeah, let's give it 2. And then we're gonna have this. In this here. So inside it, we should have It's loading. This time around becomes false. It stops loading. Yeah. So the value becomes false, and then introduce a get a snapper. A snapper. The title is, let's say, success. And the message message is say login successfully. Okay, and then you want to like get off the screen. And get to home screen. Just put this here. Okay. All right. See, I don't know why this will be throwing an error here. I want to take it out. To take it out. Yeah. Then we can do the same for registration. I'm going to copy this and bring it down here. All I have to do is change this to register. Okay. Changes to register successfully, because they both take you to the home screen. I want to be able to pass a name and let's say email. just pass on the email. So with this, let's see. I need to do something about this actually. Okay, I'm using a small. Okay, I was wondering why. Okay, all right. So now this is done for this. So let's see. Since we've done our controllers, let's move on to other aspects. So let's see if we can actually modify our login. So I'm going to pick this and paste it here. Yeah. All right. So we have our login screen. Now this login screen, I want to modify it to use GetX. So looking at the top, we have login. This is a stateful widget, right? I'll change it to a stateless widget. So I think I should be able to come here and do this. Okay, there's no way to do that from here. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to like Okay. Of course, we don't need this. Don't need that. Don't need this. Taking out this. Taking out that too. And then all of this down to this, taking them off. All right. So if I take them off, finally we have our stateless widget. Now, if you notice, we are having errors. So I'll come here and add controller dots. Okay. But the reason why it's not catching that or seeing that controller is because I've not introduced called it here. So how do I call that? Final controller, of course, variable name, get dot puts. Let's see, put the name of that controller, alt controller, and see it here. And then this, because I'm going to import GetX here. So you can see now this controller seeing it. So it's actually calling or referencing this controller from here, this alt controller, referencing it. Here. So I'm going to have this and see I have that. So every other text remains the same though, but in order to be able to, let's say, apply, what do we do now? Okay, let's just get on first. Let's get to our input field. Now, in our input field, this for email, phone, user name. All right. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to introduce something we call OBX. Okay. So I'm just going to like comment this out and then no, we should bring in the widget custom inputs field. We have a custom input field. All right. Now you see the beauty of this is that okay, delete this. Beauty of this is that this one takes this. I just need to call in what's inside that custom input field. Now, the reason why it brought this hint is because I put it as something that is required. Is a must, is required. So same for other things too. There is controller, because you need your controller, and then we'll add the controller dot email. Now we're referencing it, controller dot email controller. Then the next thing to add is when you look at it, there's usually more, but then you're only seeing this because this is what is coming from that custom input field. So next thing we have let's see, we have keyboard type. Keyboard type is going to be this input type or not number options. Since this is for email, yeah. And then you should have obscure. Now this obscure is going to be, let me see, it should actually come differently though. So not yet. Let's add other ones. Validator. So this is a validator. We're going to call that class validator class. Okay. Dot validate email. Remember, we did validate email, we did validate password, validate phone, validate not empty. So I'm going to click this since this is for email. Take this one out. All right. And then we already have a keyboard type. For the hint, you can just come and copy this. And paste it here. That's a hint. All right. So you're going to see the difference between this and this. All right. So for validator, we had to write out this long whatever, but here we just had to call it in here. All right. So it's just like a call and please, a call and please. All right. So after validating our email, then we can have the next thing we should be having is our password, because I think, okay, we don't need obscure for email. All right. So we are done with this one. So let's move on to password. Since this is our password is a bit long here. So comment it out and then bring in our custom input field. Of course, this one should have this. And then, but there's something I would like you to observe. But after I've placed these ones, so we'll have a controller too. Controller, the password. You have password here. Yeah. Then the next thing we should be having is can have our validator, calling our validator class dot this time around password, validate password specifically. So just being specific there. Then the next thing we have the on tab. In the on tab, we're going to be calling the controller dot. We should have our toggle. Where's our toggle? Let me just toggle password. All right. So you see, we don't actually need to do set state here, just like we did here on tab. This. We already did this in the controller. So what we're doing is just calling each of these methods, all right, into the UI. This is the UI for the login. All right. So next thing we'll have is in the suffix, should be the suffix. Suffix icon should have. Now this is going to be icon, okay, and this icon we're going to have controller dot this time around obscure password. Okay, now this obscure password value is going to be either icons dot, I think the visibility, yeah, visibility, or visibility visibility of mail. So this is what we have here. Can you see that? Very straight and clear. All right. Now you can see gradually we've taken out the box. There were so many red lines here, but we've gradually taken them off. Okay. Now you can see compared from this to all this. Can you see how we just minimized a long code into just very, very short way of writing? Yes. So this is what happens when you introduce a state management. All right. So then for the next one, let's see. I think we have a forgot password. For this forgot password, I think we'll just leave it like this. Yeah, there's nothing really to do here, but I can actually introduce something that when you click on it, it just shows a snack bar, like not available. So now let's come over to our button. Now this button, I don't need all of this anymore. I don't need all of this. I'm going to take this off by commenting it out. And then I'm going to bring in custom button. Where are you? I'm going to bring in custom button. And these are the first three things that are required. Of course, we have that. And then text. For this text, we're going to have just sign in, just like we have here. That's for the text. And then for the color, instead of just bringing colors or this or that, da. So this one, you just colors, it's supposed to be like, like this. I think you're supposed to have app colors dot primary. Now you can see we're just importing and just calling them gradually. These are text, these are color, the class of app colors. All right. If you want to bring in black, just click dot. You can see these are the colors we actually did. Background, primary, text, gray. All right. So you have this here. Now that we have that there, you can see now that all colors, all errors, all bugs have been taken away. Now just look at this custom button, all right, and look at this other one. I just shortening the lines of code drastically, like in a very huge way. So custom button is now having just 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. You see, from 22 to 5 lines of code. All right. So we're still making progress. We're still making progress. This is 114, 12 to 2. Oh, I just hope I can. Okay, I know I should be able to finish this up. So now we have this row where we have this divider or okay. So with this one, let's see. Is there anything we can do here? Not really. Although all of this can actually be on a very few line if not for these commas, because these commas actually make it to like run down straight. Yeah, and this is how I like to, this is how you should make your codes readable, okay? Very readable. Then we'll move over to, let's see, what is the next one? Okay, next one are icons. Yeah, this one can be here. Then this one can be here too as well. But something's going to change here with our on tap. So instead of using navigator.push, context, material page route, and blah, 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 let's take this off. Okay. I never really need this as well. Just going to introduce this, make it simpler. get dot to named, and then name of the page. Okay, so we can have this as register. Okay, since we have register form here, so just put it as register. Yeah, introduce our comma, take out the error. So you can see this GetX for you. Okay, so I think we'll actually, then this one too can take app color dot primary. I think, yeah, yes. So anywhere you see colors, you just replace it with, like this one now, just put app colors dot black. Supposed to have background text. Okay, so have this as black. Come here. So anyway you have black, I'm just going to see how I can take all of this, change it to text, and then go to app, and it just replicates everywhere. Have it there. Yeah. Anywhere there's black at all, puts it in order. So you can see. So, and always ensure to take out on commented codes. You don't want to be pushing commented codes into your GitHub. It kind of make your work look messy and scattered, disorganized. So I'm taking on all of this. Now you see what I've done. I've just simply done this to the login screen. And of course, it should still run well. Yeah. The same applies to the register screen. Okay. Same applies to the register screen. So for the register screen, so might not really get to that now, but let's look at other quickly needs to make adjustments for the home screen. Now for that home screen, let's see. There's something we can do about it. What can we do? Okay, I think I can go to my binding now. I'll go to my binding. That should be in my chill folder. Now I can import it. You see? Yeah. So I can import it. I just imported my auth controller. So same for your onboarding controller or register home controller, profile controller, whatever controller is, all right? Bind them. Then let's see. For this now, I want to see how something is being passed, like passing your email to your home screen. Okay, so let's see. So if I go home to home now, if I go to home, because I know I had home screen here. Okay, so this is my home screen. So I'm just going to take this and bring it to where home is. This is home, so bring it here. All right, so I brought my home here. I'm just going to make changes, all right, in here. Now, for this home screen, The only thing I need here is to display just the home. All right. Let's see. What do we do? I already have. Oh, okay. This is stateful widget, so I need a stateless widget. So I'm going to change over to a stateless widget. Right. This one, I can take this one out. Okay. Use this. Okay, can I change from this to that? All right. So stateless widget. Okay. Then we should have this, and we have this. Bring it up here. Okay. Enable my communal cursing now. Okay. Then the next thing we should be having is return. That's why it's return scaffold. Okay. Yeah. So this scaffold just want to return up. Of course, this one you can also do a widget for it for your back button, where you just import it instead of writing or rewriting again in every screen, your back button, that back button that usually appears on the left top corner of your mobile screen. You can create a widget and you just import it so that it just becomes a one-line code. You can do that as well. All right. So here, I think we usually did have our title. So about title text. Okay, I think I can bring this in. Yeah. Okay. So I have that. Then background color. Let's see. You have a background color. Yeah. App colors. Dots. Background. Okay, that's for white background. Now we have this. Next thing we should be having is our body. Okay. In a body, we're going to be calling in, let's call this our home body. Yeah. Not that yet. Then our bottom navigation bar. And this time around, it's going to be home thumbnail. The reason why it's still red is because they are not yet existing. So I need to ensure they are actually existing. All right. So with this, I can just have this in my home screen only. All right. And then come here. Since we have this, just going to create a widget and call it home widget. And then I'm going to do home body. Don't. We have our home body, the dots, and then we can also have our home bottom nav. So we have a home bottom nav and home body. So in our home body is going to be a stateful widget. So stateful widget. Actually need that though. We'll just make it simple. All right. And in here, can now bring in this. Go to our home screen. Where's our home screen? Can bring in this. Let's see. Just going to copy this. Because I don't need to copy everything. So the only things I need is this and so this. See, body. Okay. I'm going to place this here. Where do we have extents? We'll place it here. Okay. And then we're going to be returning pages. Okay. Instead of this, we'll call it selected index, this. Yeah. Okay. So since we have that, that settles it. Now our home screen is going to be ready. So I think we can actually import this now. Can import this. Now that's ready. Then for our home bottom nav, our home bottom nav should have this. Let's see. And these other ones. Okay. Let's see. This is a stateful widget. Home bottom nav. Bring this here. Let's see. Comment this. And then bring in something is missing. That should be int selected index. Okay. Yeah, we're having errors. Okay, we're having error here. So this time around, we're not going to be returning this since we already have this elsewhere. Okay, so do we need a scaffold for this? No. This can be, let's say, should we to remove this? Okay, so that just bottom navigation bar. Oh, okay. I already even have it here, so there'll be no need for this. Take this one away. All right, so yeah, let's see. I think we should hold on to it here, and then this can go off and need that. Okay, so in our home screen, since we've the only thing left now is to import this, import it, and voila, this has been remodified. Now, looking at this, there's something really that is not yet implemented, especially for the login. So we'll go over to our login. Now, looking at the login screen, let's go down over to the password, because password requires changing. Since we are not using set state, there's something that replaces set state, and that is the OBX. So I'm going to just wrap this, okay? I'm going to wrap this. OBX. Now with this one, you can either, because you don't need this chart here, bring in this. That solves it. So I just wrapped this input field for password with OBX, okay? So that when there's a rebuild, the only thing that it rebuilds is the password field where you toggle passwords, okay? Initially, we used set state, but that is no longer relevant here any longer. So that's why we're using state management, GetX state management. All right, so this does the work here. So not only here, it also applies to the button. That allows for loading. When you click the button and it needs to load, right? Yes, that does it. I do remember to remove this, remove that. So for the button, where we have custom, let me see, where are you? Here, custom button, right? So what we'll do is wrap it with a widget and name that widget OBX. It does that. Can bring in this call, all right, and remove the child. That does it. So this also applies to the register screen. When you bring in register screen, all right, we notice the navigation changed, the styling of the UI changed, okay? What else again? Having to reference the controller from the UI by using this. This is within this build, this one here. Yes, this is within this build. So we have this, we have this, we have that. What else again? Is there anything that is missing? No. Let's see. Also for the for the home screen, because we'll be also having a home controller. All right. Now, what I just did was separation of concern, home body, home bottom nav. All right. Because all of this can be in one screen. Yes, all of this can just be in one screen, and can actually do that. Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to still bring back everything that was in the home screen. Or what I need to do is go to home screen, because I didn't delete everything as it were. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is that since I want to, because the home screen needs to have a home controller. And what are we putting in there? Home controller dots. Now inside this home controller, the only thing we just need is let's see, we have a class that extends home controller, extends GetX controller. The only thing we need here is var select index 0 dots. Remember OBS. Okay. Then the next thing, introduce the method for the selection of the tabs: home tab, movie tab, profile tab, and favorite tab. Okay. So here we would have on tab selected. Now I'm bringing this properties, and then when selected index the value is equals to index. Oh, okay. It's supposed to be I selected. Okay. So this is what we need just in the home controller. So in our home screen, what we now need is to take off those other aspects. So let's see. Of course, stateless widget, and then let's see, we have a bar. Gonna need this. I need this to be okay. Let me take care of this area. Since we're only having this and this, right? It's usually in the build. Place this here. Okay. We have that. And let's see the next thing we needed. Because she returns scaffold. Upper, yeah. Then the body. So this body now is going to be, since we already have this body is going to be wrapped. Let me see. I wrap this. So this one I should wrap, or this. Okay, this one is still having this here, but I don't need it actually. I don't need it actually. So what I'm going to do, let's see. Since I don't need this, let's go back to our home screen because this is the main focus. I'm not going to import this any longer. Rather, OBX. Okay. And then we'll have our pages. And bring in home controller. Dot selected index. Okay, it's not saying it yet because I've not called it in. So I need to call it in. Come here. And I'm going to do final home controller get dot put the dependency home controller. All right, so home controller here is gone now. You can see that here. Now this page is okay. I think here is supposed to be this here because this is what we have here. Well, let's not make this an underscore since we're having here there. So we want rather to make our code as clean as possible. All right, so this home controller, now we're having this. Then remember, this page is here, is referencing this page is here for home and this and that and that and that and that. Okay, yeah. Then home controller controls when each tab is clicked. Okay, so we're referencing the home controller with that. And then, of course, our bottom navigation. I think this one can actually remain the same. Let's say what's in home button so that we don't have the same thing repeated. We don't want this set state, right? So definitely, we're taking it off. So for this, I'm going to go back to the home screen. Since we already have this here before, I'm going to take this off. Bottom navigation. Gonna take this off. Let's see. Okay, to navigation bar. I don't need this. All right. And then this to this point. All right. And in here, since we don't have that on item tab, we're going to bring in home controller. I think this should be on tab select. Selected here. Then current index is going to be home controller dot selected index. Home controller okay, dot value. Yeah, and I always added this value. All right, so, but then we're not seeing our OBX on this bottom navigation bar because we need it. Yeah. So where are we going to introduce it now? We're going to use it to wrap this bottom navigation bar here. Wrap OBX. Yeah. And we're good. So that's it with GetX state management. So what I just did was to modify, like introduce GetX, more like converting from the way it was before or from set state to using GetX for state management. All right. So if you notice, this one is not longer needed. So I can just comment this and then all of this out. Right here. Of course, the home screen can actually be more than this. Okay. So what you're going to be doing definitely in your next task is that you're going to be converting what you did, all right, on all screens. Login, register, profile, okay. Although a profile does not actually do changes, but I think there's something you're going to include on your profile. You're going to be pass your email and name, right? Going to pass your email and name to uh, uh let's see. Let me see if I can quickly do that and then run the app. Where are you? 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 So I'm going to go to Alt Controller and let's see. Um, this main, there was something I was going to add down here. So let's see if we can add that. Initial route. Initial route is going to be get me for this get pages, get page. Okay, name. What page is it going to be? Well, we have onboarding. Onboarding. Yeah, we should have onboarding here. Onboarding. So I'm just going to put slash. This is just for the sake of the fact that it's just a simple screen, but you can actually login. can actually put this on its own page, because imagine you're having more screens here, because it's going to look so rowdy, and it's already on the main, so you don't want that. But for the sake of this, register, because I know we have register, to call in the register screen. Register, okay, we have register form, and then we have home screen. Okay, yeah, so I think this should actually be familiar with many of you, especially if you've done your tax 3 assignment, or is it tax 3 now? Yes, if you've done your tax 3, to show again, so if you have that, we will not be needing this any longer, because it just routes definitely to this screen. All right, so let's go over to, of course, there's the boarding UI, but I'm not actually going to touch that. Yeah. So if we should go to, 8 minutes more. Anyway, I'm going to leave that as an assignment, yes, as a task. So when you're logging in, you'll be able to pass in your email. Just pass in your email only to either your home screen or your profile screen. But I think you should be on your home screen. You should just display on your home screen. Let's see. I think if I should run this, let's see how this goes, because I really want this to. I didn't really start from scratch, so I had to just modify the already existing screen. So on reviewing your source code, you see that it was implemented right. This class is almost over, so just wait to see that it runs. Where you have those get pages, I created a folder for them, so it can actually be placed here. Okay, no, I didn't touch this area, so let's go to our login. Okay, it's not working because, let's see, where's the onboarding screen? Where's the working? Okay, improper use of GetX has been detected. Okay, GetX was not used here. That's why. So I'm sure that's the reason. What do we do? Since we already did something like this, I'm just going to comment this off. Get dot to named Proper use of GetX. I know it was going to throw the 0 too, because I didn't touch this area, and time is up. But anyway, so you can see how I've actually done this. So we're going to be doing that in your next task. Where is the login? Since I only worked on the login, should have, where was it? Yeah, that's the name, register, yeah. Okay. Just want to quickly see how this can be compressed. Okay. This is in the, which button is this one? This button for sign in. So it should work. All right. So let's come here. Okay, this register. No. It has to be login. Yeah. Let's go back. Save it. Uh, okay. Yeah, it's the same thing. Anyway, I know it's a GetX problem. Yeah, but definitely, if I should refactor this again entirely, it should definitely work. Just take out this long sign of code. Yeah, that should do the trick. So the reason for this error is because I didn't work on this onboarding screen. I didn't. If not, there are quite a few changes I needed to make. Onboarding controller, GetX, OBX, and all that. That allows for changes. Take this one off. I should take this off. Let's see this. This too. Register seems to work. When login is not working, so go to login. Internet connection. All right, I'm gonna hand this, then maybe probably share to the class or to the group. Yeah, but definitely your assignment is coming from here. Yeah, this is a whole lot. If not, if I had done part of this last week, yeah, wouldn't be experiencing this. At least I would have completely finished this, run the app and start testing. Yeah. Okay, so it's 2 p.m. We've come to the end of this class. So definitely, because I need to refactor this button too as well. Yeah. So expect your next tasks, and then if you have questions, you can drop your questions in the group. Okay, I'll be available to respond to your questions as quickly as possible. I'd already actually done this already. Yes. but for the sake of showing you and teaching you basics so that it doesn't look like I already done it already and just come and start pasting codes. I needed you to see how it is when changing, okay? Yeah, because of time, if we had more time, I would definitely continue this. So I'm going to stop recording now.